Welcome back students to Alchemy online class. In previous class we learned about physical changes. Physical changes are the changes occurring in the physical properties of a substance. Shape, size, color or state of the substance gets changed in physical changes. Physical changes are reversible and no new substances are formed in physical changes. Then we learned about rusting of iron, which is a chemical change. Today we are going to discuss more examples of chemical changes. To learn more about chemical changes, the next activity given in the textbook is of magnesium ribbon. A small piece of thin strip of or ribbon of magnesium is taken and its tip is rubbed with sandpaper. Then it is brought near a kind of flame and this magnesium ribbon then starts burning. After it gets completely burned, it leaves behind a powdery ash. This powdery ash is magnesium oxide. It can be shown by this equation that magnesium plus oxygen, magnesium oxide is formed. After that, this magnesium oxide is mixed with a little amount of water and aqueous solution of it is made. So here magnesium oxide is added, means water is added to this magnesium oxide and the aqueous solution is prepared. And because of this, the chemical reaction occurs between this and the magnesium hydroxide is formed. As we learned in chapter number 5 that magnesium hydroxide is a base, it turns the red litmus to blue. So this is a chemical change. Here the powdery ash is completely different from the magnesium ribbon. Next activity is done using copper sulphate, which is also known as blue vitriol or nila thota. In this activity, a teaspoonful of copper sulphate is taken in a half cup of water in a beaker. So in a beaker, this water and copper sulphate is mixed and a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid added to it. The solution turns to blue. A few amount of the solution is kept in another beaker and the remaining amount of solution, in that solution a blade, shaving blade or a nail is kept for an hour or so. After an hour, the color of the solution changes from blue to green. This change in the color is due to formation of iron sulphate. So here if you see the blade is becoming brownish in color, it is because of the deposition of copper on it. So we can write down the equation for this like this: copper sulphate solution plus iron. Here copper sulphate solution is blue in color. When iron means the blade is added or kept in that solution, there is a reaction occurring between this copper sulphate and the blade and ferrous sulphate is formed or iron sulphate is formed, which is green in color. So iron sulphate solution is green in color and the blade is turning, the shaving blade is turning brownish in color. That brownish substance is copper. So this way here two new substances are formed. One is ferrous sulphate is formed and the copper is formed. In the next activity, a teaspoonful of vinegar is taken in a test tube and a pinch of baking soda is added to it. Because of this, the hissing sound is there and bubbles of gas formation is there. These bubbles of gas are allowed to pass through a lime water solution which is kept in another test tube as shown in the figure. Now what happens to the lime water? The lime water turns milky when this gas is allowed to pass through it. So what is happening here that we will see by the chemical reaction. In this activity, baking soda, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, is added to vinegar, that is acetic acid. Because of the reaction in between these two substances, carbon dioxide gas is evolved and other substances are formed. This carbon dioxide gas is then allowed to pass through the lime water, which is chemically calcium hydroxide, and at the end of this reaction, calcium carbonate is formed, which turns the lime water milky. So, in this process, calcium carbonate and water are formed at the end. In this reaction, carbon dioxide is evolved. In the first reaction, carbon dioxide gas is evolved, which is a new product, and at the end of the reaction, calcium carbonate and water are formed, which are the another new products of this reaction. So, a change in which one or more substances, new substances are formed is known as a chemical change, and it is also known as a chemical reaction. We are going to learn about more examples of the chemical changes. Chemical reactions are very important in our lives. All new substances are formed as a result of chemical reactions. For example, metal extraction from its ore is done because of the chemical reactions. If we want to extract iron from iron ore, then a series of chemical reactions are involved in it. Medicine is an end product of a chain of chemical reactions. Plastics, detergents which we are using in our daily lives are also the products of chemical reactions. So this way one or more substances are formed in a chemical reaction, and which are very important in our daily lives. But not only this new substance formation is happening in chemical reactions, but other changes are also happening during a chemical reaction. Now we will see what are the changes which are occurring after or during the chemical reactions. In addition to new products, a chemical change may be accompanied by these changes. Heat, light, or any other radiation, for example ultraviolet radiations, may be given off or absorbed. Sound may be produced. A change in smell may take place. Here the new smell may be given off. A change in the color may be taken place, and a gas formation may be there. So these are the changes which may occur because of a chemical reaction, and we will see the examples based on these in the next class. So this is the end of today's class. In today's class, we have learned more examples of chemical changes. In that we have learned that a change in which one or more new substances are formed is a chemical change, and chemical change is also known as chemical reaction. Now it's time for today's homework. Today's homework is write down the chemical equations that we learned in today's class. I hope you will write all the equations in your notebook. We will meet once again in the next class. Till then, be safe, be at home, and keep learning.